All right, guys, this is Mr. H. This is question 21 from the June 2023 Regents. 30% of the students got this right. I suspect that they may have done a good job guessing, but let's go over it. This is a tricky one because we didn't go over recursive sequences that much. But it says a father makes a deal with his son regarding his weekly allowance. The first year, he agrees to pay his son a weekly allowance of $10. So the son is getting $10 every week. And then it says every subsequent year, the allowance is recalculated by doubling the previous weekly allowance and then subtracting 8. So what this is saying now, so it says which recursive formula could be used to calculate the son's weekly allowance. Now, if you know what a recursive formula is or recursive sequence, you can eliminate two choices. Recursive sequences always have to tell you the initial value, and then there's going to be some formula where it's going to be n equals n minus 1, something like this, right? So this is not it because it doesn't tell you what the initial value is. So we can scratch that one off. Same thing for this. This doesn't work either because it doesn't tell you the initial value. So it's going to be one of these two. It's going to be either 3 or 4. So they both have the initial amount because the son gets $10 every week. And then what he's doing is he is going to, it says they double the previous weekly allowance and then they subtract 8. So in this case, we're going to be putting in 10 here and we're going to be putting in 10 here. So we're going to double it and then we're going to subtract 8. This one is actually saying that. So it's going to be 2 times 10, which is 20. That's double. And then we're going to subtract 8. This one is saying subtract 8 from 10. So this is only be 2. And then we double that. So this guy, in fact, he is losing money now. He's only getting $4 a week. Up here, it would be 2 times 10, which is 20 minus 8. So he's getting 12. So it's going up by 2 in the first year. Right over here, he's getting only $4, which if I were his son, I'd be pissed. I'm like, wait a minute. I started with 10 and now it went down to 4. I'm losing money and it should be going up. And this is the only one that hits it. Now, these two over here are good, except that they're not recursive formulas. So you just have to know recursive sequence. We didn't cover that. If you don't get this question, it's not a big deal. There's going to be some questions on the exam that you may not have seen before. But for the most part, there should be enough for you guys to do great on this exam, even if there's a couple that you don't know how to do. So the answer for this one is 3. If you don't know it, don't sweat it. Maybe I'll do a video on recursive sequences, and if you want to, you can watch that in case you want to know how to do those. But for the most part, I'm not worried about recursive sequences. So I'm going to stop and post this.